There's a lot going on in MAGA world tonight. Pam Bondi wins the war on drugs and reality. Mike Waltz has left the group chat. And Trump thinks Stephen A. Smith is the mayor of Harlem. So let's get into our ongoing coverage of Donald Trump's first 100 days.
Will there be a little disturbance?
Tuesday was Donald Trump's 100th day in office, and he celebrated the only way he knows how, by getting together with the boys. Last night, the big party was at Channel 372 on your cable service, NewsNation.
We've just gotten started. You haven't even seen anything yet.
Out, huh? Which is actually how most of those people got fired from their previous jobs. So this was an event where Donald Trump phoned in, probably from the bathroom, and a bunch of people got to ask questions, including Stephen A. Smith. And there's a thing I've noticed that happens at parties where there's only one black guy, which is that no matter what he's talking about, a certain type of white person tries to steer the conversation into an awkward direction.
Mr. President, thank you for your time. It's interesting that you brought up Harvard, because when people think about Harvard, what they're basically talking about is they're asking, what do you say to those who view your actions as an attack on academic freedom rather than a defense of fairness? What do you say to that?
Well, I say this. We had riots in Harlem, in Harlem.
Amazing. Amazing. Trump heard a black man say Harvard, and he thought he must have meant Harlem. What a beautiful mix of racism and dementia. It sounded like you asked about Social Security, but I'm going to assume you really asked about Soul Plane. No, not a great start, but maybe Donald Trump, maybe he can save it.
We had riots in Harlem, in Harlem, and frankly, if you look at what's gone on, and people from Harlem went up and they protested, Stephen, and they protested very strongly against Harvard.
No, he didn't save it. He didn't save it. What is he talking about exactly? There were no riots in Harlem. They definitely didn't go from the non-riots to protest Harvard, and none of that had anything to do with Stephen A.'s question about academic freedom. It's almost like he's talking about black stuff because Stephen A. Smith is black.
You know, I got a very high black vote. You know that. Very, very high black vote.
I'm starting to think that maybe Trump shouldn't be choosing the curriculum for the smartest college in the world. The answer was so dumbfounding that Stephen A., who is a professional interrupter, was left speechless for the first time in his life. By the way, this is not even the weirdest Stephen A. Smith moment from this week, because apparently the guy had a cameo on General Hospital a few days ago, and here's really the only moment you need to see.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm going to need to see some ID.
Of course.
God damn. Is that what happens when you don't have your ID? Man, things sure have changed. Now, we used to clap for nurses every day, and now we quick draw them with a silencer. I had no idea that Stephen A. Smith even acted in soap operas, but now I can't wait to tune in next week to find out if he has an evil twin, Stephen B. Smith. I guess I got to start watching General Hospital, or as Trump calls it, General Harlem. But let's move on, because not everyone is having fun during this celebration week.
We begin with breaking news. Sources are confirming to Fox News that National Security Advisor Mike Waltz is out.
Waltz has been in a precarious position with the president after he accidentally added a reporter to a group chat about upcoming military strikes.
Damn. What a shame for Mike Waltz. I wonder how they delivered the news. That's ice cold. You know what? You know what? You can't jeopardize military missions by adding journalists to your group chats. And to Donald Trump's credit, he realizes he can't have a guy this incompetent working for his administration. He's got to go.
This is CNN Breaking News.
President Trump just announcing moments ago that he will be nominating his current national security advisor, Michael Waltz, to be the next U.S. ambassador to the United Nations.
Yeah. Like I was saying, he's got to go to the United Nations to represent the entire country on a global stage. Congrats, Mike. You've earned it, I guess. Well, look, I don't know. This seems like pure chaos to me, but I'm sure this administration has been carefully planning the whole reorganization for days, as the State Department spokesperson will make clear here.
The president has just written on Truth Social that Mike Waltz is going to become the new U.S. ambassador to the United Nations.
Well, there you go.
The National Security
Fabulous.
Advisor. And in addition to that, he says that in the interim, Secretary of State Marco Rubio will serve as National Security Advisor while continuing his strong leadership at the State Department. Do you know how long he's going to be serving in both roles?
It is clear that I just heard this from you.
You know what? Why don't you come up here and I'll ask you some questions, okay? By the way, if it sounds crazy that Marco Rubio has 2 separate jobs, that's actually only half of his jobs.
Marco Rubio is very busy right now. Our own David Gura reminding us that he's right now Secretary of State, Interim National Security Advisor, Acting Administrator of USAID, and also Acting Archivist for the United States. That's a lot of work. Those are a lot of jobs.
Yeah, and I don't know how you balance working 4 jobs all at the same time, but I'm going to guess it probably involves doing a shitty job. And he's actually working 5 jobs when you consider the hardest job of them all, which is being a father. Which reminds me. Honey, you're going to have to put the kids to bed tonight because I'm going to go get drunk at Dave & Buster's. But amazingly, Trump hasn't been firing administration officials all that much because partly, most of them have really learned a lesson about staying on his good side. Let me show you how bad it can get. 3 days ago, Pam Bondi was on Fox News making an outrageous claim about Trump's success stopping fentanyl deaths.
Since Donald Trump has been in office, DEA has seized over 21 million fentanyl pills. That's 21 million lives saved, in my opinion.
21 million people. 21 million people. Just for context, 70,000 people die from fentanyl in an entire year. But we're supposed to believe that in 3 months, Trump prevented 21 million fentanyl deaths. I guess a lot more people were planning to try fentanyl this year, huh? Were you guys? Because if everyone's doing it, I'll do it. I'm not a pussy. All right. This audience is pro-fentanyl. Now, to be fair to Bondi, she must have realized these numbers were way off because 2 days later, she corrected herself.
Since he's been in office, DEA has taken 22.2 million fentanyl pills off the streets. This is 119 million lives Donald Trump has saved since January. Pretty remarkable.
Oh, my God. 119 million? He saved 100 more million lives in 2 days? Wow. Keep in mind, the entire population of the United States is 340 million. So she's crediting Trump with saving the lives of a third of the entire country. Pam, what are you talking about? Are you on the fence? Because you sound high as right now, okay? All right. But you know what? Bondi sobered up, she checked her math, and she realized something was off again. Because during Trump's cabinet meeting yesterday, she came back and corrected herself one more time.
President Trump, your DOJ agencies have seized more than 22 million fentanyl pills, which saved, are you ready for this, media? 258 million lives.
258! 258 million lives? What is happening here? At the rate Trump is saving lives, death will cease to exist by August. Man, You gotta love the way she turns to the camera like, are you ready for this, media? No, we weren't ready for that. We were not ready. There is no way anybody could ever have been ready for the number you were about to say. Even J.D. Vance wasn't ready. Look at his face when he hears her say that shit.
Are you ready for this, media? 258 million lives. Kids are dying every day.
I've never seen a man blink. What the is this woman talking about? But of course he knows it's bullshit. He went to Yale, right? It's no Harlem University, but they know math. The point is, by the time we're done with the next 100 days, Trump will have saved, and are you ready for this, media? 347 bajillion lives. Which, if you ask me, 340 bajillion lives, which you've asked me is too many lives. Is there anyone we can call to thin the herd?